Well, hi, and welcome back to Mr. America Hart. I'm John Hart, and today, this week is kind of a special week for me. One of my earliest bodybuilding mentors, Mike Mentzer, had passed away 21 years ago this week on June 10th, and it was a special time prior to that. I'd been trained by Mike Mentzer. For those of you who don't know, he was a high-intensity training advocate. And he had a system called Heavy Duty Training System, and he had written several books on it. And he was also Mr. America and a Mr. Universe. And you can see right here some of his physique shots on these books. Why am I holding these books? Well, you'll have to wait till later on in the video to see what I'm going to do with these, okay? A little surprise for you. So, why is this a big deal? Well, Mike was special in the way that he definitely went against the grain. He believed in training completely different than most other bodybuilders. And I'm just going to quickly go over some of the concepts or principles behind the training. He believed that training was specific. So if you want to grow bigger muscles, you got to lift weights, and you have to do, obviously makes sense, right? But you have to do a limited amount of it. That some of the biggest muscles in the world would be grown by training them less, not more. Eventually, the bigger and stronger you get, the less training you're going to need to grow more muscle. And someone like a Dorian Yates, by the way, I'm going to give you examples all the way throughout now. Okay, Dorian Yates started out with high-intensity training. Let's not pervert that. He started out with high-intensity training. You can check his earliest writings on bodybuilding and his personal training routines, and you'll see he trained in a high-intensity fashion. Yes, he did 2 sets at times, but he was training after his pro career hit. He dropped that down to 1 set. He was doing 2 sets of an exercise, prior to that. So high-intensity training. So when people say he trained with volume, traditional volume, that's just not true. 3 to 5 sets of each exercise, 3 to 5 days per week, multiple times training a body part per week. No, that's not what he did. He trained 4 days a week. Earlier on, he trained 3 days a week. He split it up into smaller workouts as he got more advanced. And he did single set training to get even bigger. Okay, so that's what it was. He got more intense about it, but he trained with single set training. This past year, I trained Ruben Salas. He's the current Mr. USA, IFBB Pro, Mr. USA, NPC Mr. USA. And he came into that show bigger than he's ever been before. Bigger and harder and without injuries, like he said before. Why? Because I trained him using heavy-duty training, high-intensity workouts, and infrequent workouts. He worked out less than he ever had before his entire life. So we're talking about 3 workouts a week. So there you go. I started out training on heavy-duty training as a beginner. I did not do any volume whatsoever. I never did traditional training. I trained in high-intensity, heavy-duty fashion, the original heavy-duty 3 times a week, and then eventually twice a week. I had a brief period, about 6 years into it, where I tried higher volume training, and I could not make progress, so I stopped. So for a brief period, I tried it, did not make progress. Let's be clear about that, okay, before all of y'all say, oh, you built a foundation training that way. That's not true. And then I went on to win the titles that I always dreamed of winning, Mr. America, Natural Mr. Universe. That's it. I've trained amateur bodybuilders for bodybuilding competitions. I've trained clients who wanted to put muscle on. And we all trained using the heavy-duty principles, high-intensity training. So I just want to be clear. Okay, for anybody who says it doesn't work, they're incorrect. For anybody who says that training that way, doesn't grow any muscle, they're incorrect. Okay, maybe they were doing things wrong. Maybe they were applying the principles wrong. I don't know. I just know that I was doing it the right way. And I was training people the right way. As a matter of fact, I'm getting to these books now. When Mike passed in 2009 or 2008, Joanne Sharkey, that was his heir, who inherited everything heavy duty, all of his writings and his brand and his likeness. She asked me to take over the phone consultations and the online consultations for MikeMentzer.com. And so I did, and I did it from 2008 or 9 all the way to 2020 when she passed. 2021 she passed. Yeah, in early 21. So I did that for 11, 12 years. And in the course of those consultations, I would often use these books. Joanne kept me well stocked with specific books. I have quite a few, but these were the ones that right here that I had excess of. 3, Mike Mentzer, Heavy Duty 2, Mind and Body. They're in pristine condition. There's not a torn page, not a folded page. The glossy finish on the cover, maybe a little bit worn from the books being in a box for so many years, but they've not been touched. I mean, air didn't even touch these things. So I have 3 of those books. And I looked online, and I saw how much they were going for. The best place I could find was Amazon. I cannot find them anywhere else for sale. So Amazon had those books, and man, they are pricey. So whoever has a couple of single copies of those books, they're selling them for a little fortune. And so I'm not going to do that. What I am going to do is, if you're interested in purchasing these books, I only have 3 of them, and the remaining copies are mine, my personal copies, so I won't be selling those. But these 3, I will go ahead and supply an email down below in the video description. You can go ahead and shoot me an email at that email, and I'll go ahead and give you a quote on the prices. I can guarantee you this. I can guarantee you, if you're serious about buying these books, you'll see online that the lowest price for these things is $299 each. Woo! And I'm going to beat that by quite a lot. Okay, so you go ahead, and just for being a faithful subscriber to my channel, of course, that's one of the parameters, is that you must be a subscriber to my channel, okay, to go ahead and purchase one of the books, all right? So I look forward to seeing you on my next videos upcoming. But in the meanwhile, help me offload these books, won't you? And Mike Mentzer, we can learn a lot. I've had a lot of videos that I've covered Mike Mentzer, Dorian Yates, the training that they do, as well as Ruben Salas and myself over the years. So you can check out all my videos going back for the last 2.5 years or so, and you'll see quite a bit about high-intensity training. I believe in it deeply, and it's brought great results for all of us. So that's pretty much it. From my heart to you, get to emailing down below. John Hart. Hey, before you go, off to my left, you're going to see a disc pop up. That is the subscribe button for my channel. Once you give that thing a tap, and then YouTube will let you know when I have new videos pop up. And then down below, right there, you're going to see a thumbs up button. Once you give this video a thumbs up, the YouTube algorithm loves when you give our videos a thumbs up. Helps the channel out, and I love it when you do it. All right, see you soon.